It's a delight to be here for my first time today and welcome you to this beautiful spiritual center. Will you join me in an opening prayer? So as we take a collective breath, we turn our attention and our awareness to our spiritual center. And we allow ourselves to just settle in, inviting the nudges of spirit, the warmth of the connections we share, and the joy of this day to lift us to a new level of consciousness. We are open and receptive to hearing new ideas, to hearing old ideas in new ways, and to the fellowship that we create when we come together in this sacred space. We celebrate the joy of this day and we collectively say, Amen and Amen.
One presence, one mind, Are you up yet? Good morning. Wow, look at all of you. You're gorgeous. Especially you. Oh, and you. Oh, wait, you're all gorgeous. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. My name is Claudia, and it is my honor to serve as your platform assistant. Unity Spiritual Center is our home where we know, love, and serve God. We do this through our Sunday celebrations, our meditations, our prayers, our wonderful classes, and of course, all of you, our Unity community. We are so grateful. So grateful. Are we not so grateful for our musical talent? Please join us in our joy song by standing. The words will be on the screen. If you would like one of our welcome packets, please visit our welcome center right out the doors after service. We'll be happy to give you one of these packets. Also, our volunteers will be happy to answer any questions you may have. Sound good? All right. How did I forget, Hector? It's my favorite part. I got so nervous today. So we're never alone on the road to life, and we are definitely not alone here. Hi, my name is Claudia, and I am a hugger. I know that there are fellow huggers out here. Yes? Yes. Okay. My fellow huggers, sometimes people don't like to be hugged. So if you don't like to be hugged, just stick out your hand or a namaste, and handshake, a namaste, right? Thank you, Laura Lee is demonstrating. Now, we have a guest today. So I'm expecting you, when Hector plays the ditty, insert ditty example there, that you will find your seats so that she knows we're well behaved. Sound good? I was gonna bring my magic wand and then I forgot it. So on your mark, get set, go! we go with the flow, right? We go with the flow. So we've had a few changes in today's itinerary. So what I'm about to tell you isn't going to match what's behind the screen, and I need you to be okay with that. All right? Yeah! All right? So we're going to, first of all, I just want to remind you, I forgot to tell you this, if you didn't have enough time to hug and greet everybody, after service, there's plenty of time to hug and greet people in our community room on the other side. So please stay for coffee and snacks and continue the fellowship after service. But right now, it is my great pleasure and honor to bring up one of our speakers for this week. He's going to be here with us all week long. Yep. A couple of us, if you were here yesterday to experience John, please raise your hand. Was it not fantastic? Yeah. Do these people have no idea what's in store for them? Oh my goodness, the abundance he's going to bless us with. John, please come up and tell us about your program. Please welcome John.
Well, I'm going to put Claudia on the spot, and Fran will come up for a minute. You know, I'm actually new John. I'm from New Mexico. I had cells born a minute ago, and one died a minute ago. I choose to think about the ones that are new. But what better way than being new John? Make sense? All right, I'm new to the church. So, and a little demonstration. Now, they were here both yesterday, and I didn't rehearse them. So I want you to stand right there, if you would. And I want you to stand right here. Yeah, you can face them, that's good. Yeah. And what I'm going to do, while I'm telling you about what I'm going to be doing today, I want you to think of retired. Retired. And every time I shift topics and go to what I'm going to do on Monday, think that you're going to have 10 times more money, but you're going to be a little more tired. 10 times more every time. Would 10 times more money work for you?
Yes, I already know the answer to this question.
No, there's no question. I just want you to feel it, all right? And what I want you to do, you're retired, but I want you to think renewed. Every time I change the topic, I want you to think renewed. You know, think about those new cells. We do that for me. I'll do that. All right? And so what I'm going to do, it started off about 3 years ago. My hand was going to sleep. And I lost use of my fingers. These fingers, the bottom 3 fingers, they didn't work at all. And then they started coming back, and then the most crucial fingers started to work. And I discovered Chinese medicine. This miracle is so important, so important, that I don't want to even charge for it. Every day at 10 o'clock and 5:30, what we did yesterday, I'm doing for free. Not even love offering, just free. Come and learn about Chinese medicine and renew your life. Now, renew, retire, retired, retire. Then Monday night, during the day, I also see people with private sessions. Private sessions try to see the eyes of the windows of the soul. What if I told you I had a map to the eyes of the windows of the soul, and I can tell you how you relate to mother and father and people in your life, your children, your grandchildren, and better serve them and better connect. Would that be valuable, anybody? Yeah. That's what we're going to do all day, and it's going to be the Wednesday workshop. Wednesday. Monday night is another workshop. Is that retired and renewed? Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure you're keeping the homework assignment, right? Or you're not counting, I just want you to remember. Monday night, I'm going to talk about Chinese medicine and give you all the facts and answer any of the questions you might ask. That's along with the free workshops. And then on Tuesday night, renewed, retired. We're going to talk about words and how important words are. Do words have power? Do you want to try to come, or are you going to come? That's the question. Do you want to be renewed or retired? You're pretty young to be retired, aren't you? Yes. Yeah, well, that's why you're renewed, right? And then finally, I don't know how many people have ever heard the name Jack Boland? Jack Boland, wonderful unity minister. He inspired my first book, actually. It's The Next Step in Positive Living. And it's a wonderful gift that ties it all together. And I'm so excited that Nancy is here because we shared the National Speakers Association convention just 3 days ago in Orlando for 4 days. And these are the people like Norman Vincent Peale, Augment, for those historical people. And Nancy is one of those, and I'm excited about hearing her message, and I'm also excited about coming to her workshop, because we're here to serve. We're here to give. And what we will give will far outvalue any charges that may incur. Also, one of the things too, and that's retired and renewed. Anybody that needs any support, I have work scholarships and anything, I want to give this to everyone. And actually during the break at lunch while we're getting coffee and things, I'll be looking at people's eyes and giving you a little glimpse of what your soul is. And I'll be pleased to connect with you. And so, how did you feel being renewed?
I feel really good being renewed. It's enlightening.
And would you prefer to be renewed or retired?
Renewed.
Well, see, and who wants to be tired? Exactly. Thank you, and I hope to see you all. I do accept hugs afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. So as you can imagine, most of you know I am a professional speaker as well. I am part of the NSA who has these two fine people. So this is like the Super Bowl for me today. Having Nancy here and having John here. I'm like, ah. So without further, and then you get to follow, right? All right, without further ado, she's going to do perfect because Kathy Morgan, is going to come up here and give us a update on our teen project, but she is bringing a very special guest up and a dear close friend of mine. I'm so happy to see you here today, Amy Painter. Please give them a welcome. Welcome.
Wow, I really get to follow the pros here. I'm Kathy Morgan, and Jerry, I don't know where you are, Jerry Latham? There you are. It has been mine and Jerry's great pleasure to attend the monthly Fruitland Park meetings, where we met and had the great pleasure of hearing Tammy Langley, the principal of Fruitland Park Elementary School, speak about all the things she was able to do because of the annual fundraiser they call Project Generosity. And I could go on, but you really need to hear from Amy. She's got the scoop. This is Amy Painter from Fruitland Park.
So just in case you don't know, Bless Fruitland Park is simply a gathering of people from all across the community. We want to bring together churches, we want to bring together the local city government, we want to bring together the school, and we want to bring together the residents and other community organizations to help make Fruitland Park a better place. That's all it is. It's about bringing just generosity and helping one another and just making it a better place. So that's what we're here to do, and that's what our monthly meetings are all about. In the summertime, we do a fundraising effort, and again, it's just about awareness. It's just about making people aware of what the needs are in our community and what the opportunities are, and we call it Project Generosity. And Project Generosity runs through the summer, and what we do is we encourage churches, we encourage civic organizations, we encourage businesses in the community to find ways to raise a little extra money, and we put it all together and we call it Bless Fruitland Park, and we take a big fat check over to Fruitland Park Elementary School at the beginning of the school year. And what that does, it's a thank you. Thank you. Our little school is a neighborhood school, and all the kids from all around this area, a lot of them are walking over to that school. It's a really special little place, and how come Amy Painter's here? How come Amy Painter is telling you about this? Amy Painter grew up over on Miller Street. Miller Street. And Amy Painter walked to Fruitland Park Elementary School. From kindergarten, it only went to 4th grade at that time. And I graduated. I'm a proud alumni of Fruitland Park Elementary School, and it's just a really special place. But When I first went on a tour, when I became involved with Bless Fruitland Park, it saddened me a little to walk into my 4th grade classroom and see the same bookshelves that were there when I was in 4th grade. And that was a long time ago, y'all. That was not yesterday. So it's sort of our little forgotten school in the district, and there's just so many needs there. And what's really great about this funding from Bless Fruitland Park is we hand it to Principal Tammy Langley, and she apologizes she couldn't be here today. She's actually speaking at another church. And, she's able to take those funds, and there's so many things that the district budget doesn't cover and doesn't pay for each year. And she's able to do little things to help the students there that just can't be covered under the regular budget. So this is sort of a grassroots effort to say, okay, we're going to stop fighting the system, and we're going to work with it and just make it a better place, and we're just going to do what we have to do to help our kids. So that's what this is all about, and we've got lots of lists and things that we can share that talk about exact expenditures and what all goes on with those things. But I can tell you that there are things like books and literacy materials are a really important part of what we're doing to help that. They have a literacy coach. We've started an art club there for the students because they don't have art education. So lots of little things like that that we're able to do to help spruce up the area. Later in the year, you might hear about some work projects where we actually go out and serve physically. And we've remodeled bathrooms, and we've mowed the yard when the custodian was out because he had a heart attack, and one of our volunteers went down and said, well, I'll mow the yard and we'll get it done, you know. So it's really just a grassroots effort to help get that done, and I hope that answers everything, Kathy.
It does. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very nice to take time away from her own church services, and she's on the way to those now. I will be at the back of the church, and Dee, you'll be in the community room. If anyone would like to donate to Project Generosity, the check should be written out to Bless Fruitland Park. And that's it. Thanks, Claudia.
Kathy, you're a pro. And for those of you who don't know Amy Painter, she's being very humble today, but she has served our community for a long time. She has a passion for the arts. She just retired as the Leesburg Center of the Arts Director. Thank you, Amy, for being here today. Now, it is that time of the service where we bless, there we go, where we bless our prayer box, we do the daily word, and we read the spiritual power of the month. And today on service is George.
From the Daily Word, which is available in our bookstore, which is right next to the community room, I'm going to read the word for today, which is divine order. And it's based on the scripture, Mark 4:26-27. The kingdom of God is as if someone would scatter seed on the ground, and the seed would sprout and grow. He does not know how. I am divinely imprinted with all that I need to succeed, and that is divine order. An acorn carries within it the imprint of its destiny to become a mighty oak tree. Within me lies the imprint of my heart's desires and the imprint of my sacred lineage. Spiritual order proceeds from within to the outer. I reflect on the divinity that permeates me, my source of strength and new ideas. As clearly as I see the potential of the oak tree in the acorn, I see all that I desire to be and to have. arising from the divine imprint in me. My faith in God life, moving through every cell of my being, propels me ever forward. First as the idea, and then as the expression. I do not worry about when or how the process unfolds. I trust divine order in my life. Please join me now in saying the affirmation. I am divinely imprinted with all that I need to succeed. The spiritual power for the month of July is love. The corresponding color is pink, as on this tapestry here. The center of love is located in the back of the heart. Love is the ability to attract, unify, and desire. Love is represented by Mary of Nazareth and John, the son of Zebedee. Please join me again in saying the affirmation.
I express unconditional love for myself and others, bringing healing and harmony into my life.
Now push the prayer box. Great Spirit, we ask that your divine love and light descend on us and those mentioned in this prayer box, and those loved ones and friends that care for them and surround them. Let them find the healing, the guidance, and the peace of mind that they desire and deserve. Let all of them feel the joy of your presence and the joy of life in the Spirit. And let it be so, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Good morning. My truth is the power of love, and it's the same thing that Norm talked about last week. And Norm, I want to thank you for your kind words and appreciation last week, and for Reverend Marge and her kind words and many thank you notes. The truth is, though, that I'm surrounded by many angels, saints, and heroes at Unity Spiritual Center. You are the hands and feet who open your hearts so wide and love unconditionally. Sunday mornings, I don't wake up and say, oh, it's Sunday, I ought to go to church. I say, it's Sunday, I get to go and hang out with my spiritual family. I get to worship and celebrate and hug you all. And I smile because you are some of the finest, kindest, most wondrous and generous people I have ever met. People who are so full of loving light and who open their hearts to others and teach me so much, and smooth my rough edges, and raise me up, and inspire me, and see the best in me. And when we hold hands and sing at the end of the service, I feel like I'm in heaven. Mother Teresa said, we can do no great things, only small things with great love, and that's what PACT is. People quietly doing small things with great love. And I've been thinking that PACT is a vehicle for the fifth unity principle, which is through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. And Richard Rohr last week in his daily meditation email said the same thing. He called it the balancing between contemplation and action. Because if we do all contemplation and no action, or all action and no contemplation, it's not the perfect balance. This power gives me such great joy because we know that whatever we give out comes back 10 times, I think 100 times. I've learned so much from all of you, and I know that I see the unfolding in this community over and over about what you give out comes right back to you. I've even heard people give moments of truth about that exact thing. If you want to know what this Love Fest is all about, for me, it's called PACT, and it's the Pastoral Assistance Care Teams. We have 9 teams that are organized by area or community. And I used to say we offer rides and meals, but boy, have we offered a lot more than that. We offer rides and meals and visits, and love and prayers and positive energy, and sometimes even a little wound care. There are clipboards coming around this morning, and if you haven't had a chance to sign up to be on a PACT, I would encourage you to do that. We update our list quarterly, and next Sunday is the 4th Sunday of the month. We do share a dish after service, and we'll sit by our community team so you get to know your neighbors better. And when you're on one of these teams, you can call anyone, anytime to get the help that you need. I'll be up by the welcome table after the service if you have any questions. And I also put some information and the PACT teams listed on the back table in the community room, so if you wonder what PACT you're in, it's available there. And finally, I want to say that the universe has been showering me with some opportunities, and I'm going up to New England for a little bit, but I can organize and call and email from anywhere. So if you hear of any concern, just let me know, or Corinne. I'm going to meet with her so she has the lists updated, and we'll have everything we need to carry on. I'm confident that everything can be done from here or from New England for me. And finally, I want to say that the power of your love has been absolutely transformational to me and to so many others. And I'm so grateful to all of you, and I love you. Thank you, everyone.
I almost forgot one of the most important parts of my job here. Would the prayer chaplains in service today please stand? We all will be available after the service to say prayers with you. We'll wait up here in the front, and we have 2 prayer rooms on either side of the sanctuary where you can go if you want privacy. So please take advantage of that if you wish. And I'm sorry, I should have said that at first.
guidance as I move forward on this spiritual journey, this ever-flowing journey of exploration, transformation, and love. In the quiet, to gently make your way back to this time and place. With appreciation and gratitude for any insights that came, and an awareness that this opportunity is always accessible. At any moment, we can create that escape to the sanctuary. And for that, we are profoundly grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Behaviors, beliefs, and ideas that are not
when I was a young girl. And my mom loved to listen to music. And I said, Mother, why are all the songs about love? And she said, because, honey, that's the most important thing in the world. And I don't think I totally got that at the time, but I had a sense of how deeply she believed it. And then there came the song, Downtown, by Petula Clark. And I was like, okay, here's the song that's not about love. But really, it was about love. Because everything is so loving and brings out the loving nature in all of us. So, going on that, when I was a young girl idea, I remember when I was in single digits. Do any of you remember back when you were in single digits? It's kind of a stretch for some of us these days. But I couldn't wait till I was in double digits. Or I was 13, a teenager, or 16 when I would have a driver's license. Or 21 when I could do other things. I had all these hopes and dreams and expectations, as we all do, right? We wanted to be grown up. We were looking ahead. We were looking forward to what life would be like for us as we grew in our intelligence and our emotional awareness and our social skills and all these ways. Now, for some of us, things turned out really well and maybe very consistently with what you imagined. Whereas for others of us, not so much. We went on more of a curvy, weavy, windy path like you might find in the mountains somewhere, maybe in Tennessee, which is close to the state I grew up in. And now, some of the things that people said to us when we were younger, like, go outside and play, or go take a nap, or be quiet, they sound really pretty appealing right now. I wish my spouse would tell me to go outside or to take a nap. But the thing is, we're always evolving into a new reality. We're growing spiritually all the time. We're coming to a new understanding of who we are and how we fit into the relationships that we form with those individuals. You know, you all are here in this beautiful community. Wow, my first time here today, I was sold in the driveway, in the parking lot. I said, this is spectacular. But you're in the midst of a change. You're in a new facility, lots of new and exciting things are happening. And we celebrate that oneness. We draw comfort when we come together and we're with other like-minded people. It feels good to be lifted up and nurtured and supported. And we're continually redefining our sense of self. And I think about it in three ways. We're continually thinking about how I define who I am. I am. And I have an activity that we'll do in the workshop that will help you with that as well. And then the next question we often ask is, or the fill in the blank is, the world is. What is the world like for me? And then there's a therefore. Therefore, I blank. It's a continually evolving process, and as we advance and change and mature spiritually, our answers are going to be modified. I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes by one of our Unity teachers and ministers, Eric Butterworth, who I'm sure some of you have studied in prosperity classes and in other ways, and he said this: don't go through life, grow through life. Grow, evolve, and change. And he noted that the ups and downs that we experience, they help us become stronger. Now, I am not a surfer. I'm a surfer wannabe. I have done stand-up paddleboarding, and even that was a bit of a challenge because the winds were so strong on the day I had my first lesson. But I know that the surfer friends of mine say that they like the big waves because they strengthen them, they develop their skills more fully, right? If you go out and all you have are little, soft, gentle waves, are you really going to grow? Are you going to become a stronger surfer? So that's one way to consider what happens in these turbulent times, because the waters are not always smooth. I want to also adapt a statement from one of my favorite Unity authors. Her name is May Rowland. Do any of you know May's work? She, for those of you who don't know, was the longest serving director of Silent Unity of all time. She served for more than 50 years. And I can say, I don't know very many people that have had the same job for that long. And she knew something about prayer. And she knew something about faith. As she began her tenure with Silent Unity, initially Charles Fillmore, our Unity co-founder, assigned her the task of answering letters. And at first she was quite overwhelmed by that. And he finally said to her, you have inside you what you need to do there. Go do it. And she made this comment, when faith becomes a flame in my mind, I see by the light of this flame that there are no impossible situations. I know there's a way through every difficulty. So breathe that in, those words. By the flame of faith, there's a way through every challenge that we face. And we all continue to have challenges, no matter what our beliefs. But the way that we move through and the way that we lean into spiritual teachings helps us and guides us, right? So I want to share with you a strategy that gives you a little bit of balance and keeps you in harmony during some of the times that are a little more wavy, we'll call it. Like the waves of the ocean. I spent 3 days over in the Daytona Beach area, so I am just filled up with that Atlantic Ocean energy right now. But one way to balance is to really tune in and stay aligned with the power of faith, one of the 12 powers that Charles Fillmore defined for us. I don't know if you know this, but in my research, I learned that the Bible references faith more than 425 times. Do you think that that was an important part of what we were supposed to get? The whole idea of faith? As in Matthew 17:20, when Jesus says, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, and you say to that mountain, move from here to there, it will move. That's faith. Faith, it doesn't have to be highly profound, but we do all have all the faith we need. Sometimes we just need to focus our faith in a different direction. So the scriptures give us lots of information about how we can move mountains. And mountains, metaphysically, you may remember, are any kind of obstacle. It could be a literal obstacle standing in our way, but more than likely, it's a perceived obstacle, or it may be a mental obstacle. Maybe we have some self-doubt that lingers and catches us in a state of uncertainty or unease. So we have with faith the ability to move mountains. In Matthew 14, it's illustrated beautifully when Jesus is walking on the water and he invites Peter out of the boat to walk on the water. And I'm sure you remember this story, but for those of you that don't, it shows us that he called him out in a storm. And when he was focused on the Christ, when he was looking straight ahead, He was fine. He was staying above the water. But when he started looking down into the storm and seeing the dark, turbulent seas, he began to sink. And that's true for us as well. When we have our eyes focused and aligned with our spiritual nature, and we're engaged in affirmative prayer, and we're focused on our spiritual tools and our spiritual strengths, it can feel effortless to move forward. But sometimes we get distracted and our eyes sink, or our eyes get off center and we're caught up in the negative energy. Maybe we're hearing news or we're hearing talk from other people that sounds alarming and sounds threatening, and it begins to move us into a place of anxiety. It's a time for me to have a burning bowl. How many people have done burning bowls before? Probably most of you. How many people do them more than once a year? A couple of you? I have started doing one at least once a month. I don't know. Once a year is just not enough for me. And I really enjoy and appreciate the experience of setting those negative thoughts and using the process of denial, blessing and releasing. When I was interning at Unity Church of Hawaii for 8 months, we had a meditation service on Wednesday night, and I did a burning bowl every Wednesday. I was blessing and releasing. And there's also another part that I encourage you to try if you haven't already. But the second part that I was taught by my mentor, Reverend Sky St. John, is to add an affirmative part, to do a igniting process. So after you do your release, your denials, you write down what you want to ignite, what you want to create. It reminds me of your renew idea, that let's put that in the flame so that we can give energy and call that forth as well. Very powerful process. So we know that to be steady and to be purposeful, that we need to be very proactive and do what it takes to continue our faith walk. Jesus, our master teacher, showed us, he demonstrated beautifully how to do this. He showed us how to see a circumstance as true until the reality matched what we were envisioning. And it came to pass. And people call things like this miracles, but we can co-create those when we live as truth. So we have unlimited seeds of possibility. Most of you hopefully got a little handout, a little card that I added into the information that was passed out today. And it's some seeds of possibility. And there's some ways to energize yourself when you need a boost. And there's always going to be a time when we need a boost. Even though our National Speakers Association convention was awesome and invigorating in many ways, I also left feeling pretty drained and exhausted. I'm not used to being pretty much on the go from 7 a.m. till 11 or 12, and I was doing some other work at night too sometimes, so I needed a few days to restore and revitalize. We all have what we need, but we need to be able to access it and call it forth. And we're best equipped when we're highly engaged in self-nurturing and self-care activities. Now, how many of you do that really easily? Okay. Quite a few, actually, more than at many places I visit. That's great. So you can help be role models and teachers, because we need role models. When we're not as comfortable, sometimes it helps to see somebody else step into that. Well, this is just a starter list that I thought I'd share with you. Many of you have your own ways, but we know that if we live long enough, there's going to be something that's difficult for us, or it creates a bit of a setback. Maybe it's within our own family. Maybe it's in our spiritual community. Maybe we experience it in the larger community. But when we have a lot of choices to make and when we are feeling a bit fatigued, we're not at our best. And so it really is always about self-care first. Because when we are in a good place ourselves, then we're more useful in service to the people around us. And we always have something more to give. I want to share a story about a gentleman who I have come to admire immensely in the last few months. I don't know him personally, but I've read a lot about him. He's a faculty member at UT University of Texas at Austin, which I live in Dallas, and I say it's just right down a very big, long freeway from me, about 200 miles. Well, Dr. John has a passion for living. He gets up and he goes to his small, tiny office at UT Austin every work day, and he is there early and he's there late, and he loves his job, and he thrives on being in that community of learning and teaching and research. And you may say, okay, big deal, that's what he's paid to do. So I'll share with you his age. He was born on July 25th, 1922. Now, I don't know for sure, but looking around, I'm guessing that he's probably a little bit older than most of us. And he has this thirst for research and knowledge. So the really cool thing is that earlier this year, he and his team of research associates at UT Austin submitted a patent for a new battery. And if it is as successful as they believe it is going to be, it will revolutionize electric cars. This is not his first battery. He has revolutionized other technology as well in discovering the battery that keeps the defibrillator, that runs the defibrillator that revives people that are in emergency situations. The cell phone battery, he has a history of this success. He was interviewed for I believe it was the New York Times several years ago when he was 92, and he says, you know, I'm not ready to throw in the cards yet. I've still got too much to do. I've got so much to accomplish. I still have problems that I want to solve, things that keep me awake at night. And I love his attitude. And he believes in himself. He believes in his team. And he believes that he can still make a difference. I know that we all have the potential to do far more than what we've unveiled to this point. We're rich with potentiality and creativity and all the beautiful powers with which we're endowed. As we look ahead, I want you to look forward with a sense of optimism. It's kind of like, again, going back to, I didn't know John was going to be here. However, you know, the retire versus the renew. When we look forward, I love to look at the definitions of words or the meanings of words more fully, and looking forward is one of those kind of interesting words. But it means anticipate, to await, to expect, to hope, and to wish for. And as we do that, some of the words are associated with are cheerful, buoyant. I like that one. I wouldn't have thought of that one. Confident, eager, enthusiastic, and trusting. So, in conclusion, we have the opportunity to look forward and to see our futures unfolding just as magically, as beautifully, as radiantly as we can create that image in our mind. It's important to call forth those affirmations and to allow ourselves to truly believe and live into the life that is open and accessible and available to us. I look forward to you contacting me in the next 6 months or a year, whatever time frame, as you set those intentions, maybe for your summer or for your, until the end of 2017 or for next year. I want to hear from you and hear what you've created by looking forward with positivity, with faith, and with the spiritual tools with which you're endowed. Namaste. I'd like to invite anybody that's here for the first time to please stand and allow us to offer you a blessing.
Now it's time for the offertory. Join me in the affirmation prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
I'm ready.
All right, and now we sing. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like mountain. I've got love like mountain. I've got love like mountain in my soul. I've got love like mountain. I've got love like mountain. I've got love like mountain in my soul. I've got joy like mountain. I've got joy like mountain. I've got joy like mountain in my soul. I've got joy like mountain. I've got joy like mountain. I've got joy like mountain in my soul.
So as the ushers come forward, we just bless these offerings. We are grateful to the generosity of spirit and all the energy that this spiritual substance represents. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Please come and gather around the circle, and if you are new here for the first time, please make sure that you can